Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us tonight. I should say joining me, I guess. Where is everybody? Looks like I am going to be by myself. Corey, Jessica, Nor, AJ all had some plans tonight. So they're getting ready for this weekend. Corey and Nor are. I don't think Jessica's going to make it, but there is a slight chance that she'll be there. Let me just check something here. What's going on? Okay. Everything looks good. Hi, Howard. How are you? Hey, there's the Game Master. How you doing out there in California? I bet it's a little warmer out there than it is here today. We had 74 degrees yesterday. I'm not sure we hit 50 today. Raven Project, did it storm down there? Boy, did it ever over the weekend. Hey, Sawyer, good to see ya. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Felipe. Boy, everyone's chiming in now. Look at that. Thanks for joining me, guys. 3 people and 2 likes, says the Game Master. Uh-oh, and he's toasty warm. Yeah, we had a beautiful day yesterday. The day before was really windy. It was terrible. Knocked power out all over the city. It was not much fun. But everything's back to normal. Well, I take that back. Not everything is back to normal. And there are a few people around here that still don't have power. Hey, John, how are you, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. Looks like you're able to make comments this week. Must have got it figured out. R2D2. Have I met you in real life before? I don't know. Have I? Or have you? Howard just can't wait to use my battle site again on Saturday. What battle site might that be, Howard? Or do you want to keep that hidden until Saturday? The weather in Stroudsburg, a storm is coming. Okay, Felipe. We shall see, my friend. We shall see. Sawyer said, I didn't have power from Friday until Sunday morning. Yeah, I think some of Columbus still is without, but not a whole lot. But Anthony said he didn't have it from Friday night until early Saturday morning. Anthony that works for us. You're going to be playing your favorite? You're going to be playing Age of Apocalypse? An OP Storm is exactly what Felipe is talking about, Game Master. I'm curious if Felipe is going to be playing The Land Before Time. And Patty Crypto, when you get in here, I want to find out if you're going to be playing it too. Sawyer says, I broke down and bought a generator to power a water heater and well. Wow, is that bad, huh? John says, I've changed nothing. My default settings just seem to have returned to normal on their own. You know, sometimes computers can be that way. Ben said 70 degrees yesterday, now 2 to 4 inches of snow. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. I don't know what to say about that, Ben. That's just awful. The warmer the better for me. I don't like it cold. I could put up with some snow, but I would definitely rather it be warm. So I checked right before I signed on. We still only have 17 players registered. Guys, it would sure be a lot easier for the guys running the tournament if you'd register in advance. So if you haven't, please do it. It just makes everything so much smoother the Saturday of the event. It would be nice. Just one less thing that Robin has to worry about on the day of. Felipe says, yes, I will, of course. Land serves me well. Favorite movie is Jurassic Park. Okay. Sawyer said, snow here now too. What is going on? Ben says, more on the way? Yeah, R2D2, it does sound like Michigan weather. Hey, Doug, how are you, buddy? Good to see ya. Felipe says, on both times I used land in the tournaments, I got 2 top 4s. I'll be interested to see how that works in the Classic game, Felipe, to be honest with you. Both of your top 4s were in regional. One was in a regional, one was in the Nats. So it'd be interesting. You're giving up 3 points of build total to get that on there. So I can't wait to see how it works for you. Hey, James, how are you? My son's watching tonight, so hype up the game to get him wanting to play so we can build up a Michigan group so you guys can have a proper rival. Yeah. He came with me the first time I went to the store. That's awesome. It would be nice to have a Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. Howard says we'll have 30 to 40. I'm thinking 30, yeah, a minimum of 30. So I don't know what's taking everyone so long to register. John says Boston is fluctuating between the 20s and about 70 every couple of days. Typical New England weather. Hey, Ricky, how are you? Can't stay long today. We'll catch most later. Snowboarding trip. Oh, my gosh, Ricky. It's almost summer, dude. It's time to give up that snowboarding stuff for a while. James says, R2D2, if you're in Michigan, join the Discord. We need players. Sawyer says, I wish I could go. I would love those few and cursed energy cards because we're going to get 3 power cards. Right, Felipe? I think just 1. R2D2 is R2D2 B2 T2. I don't know what all that means. Yeah, Felipe, Sawyer was talking to you. I think he'd make the trip if he could get 3 of those 8 energy power cards. Howard says, hi, Felipe. Any news on birthday boy Diego for Saturday? Was Diego thinking about coming up? I didn't know that. Diego's keeping it a secret for now. Oh, my gosh. There's a chance? I had not heard. James says, R2D2 is my son. James, you got to keep a better rein on your kids. What the heck? Game Master says, if you're on OC or LA County in Southern Cal, we need you in Discord too. R2D2 was taken. Yeah, big surprise there, huh? Felipe says, I know nothing about any power cards. What's going on again? Yeah, there's a rumor going around that the promo cards are going to be a big hit this weekend. I heard they're going to be, an 8 energy power card. I know there was some negative feedback to that on Facebook by a couple of guys, but I got to tell you, I kind of like the idea of having cards that you can only get from these events. It will help some guys decide that they want to be there. It'll help pay for their trip if they win. And, to get $50-$60 out of one of those, if you're local, it's a nice payoff. And if you're traveling, hopefully it can cover your gas or something. Maybe gas and food. I can easily see the participation being $40 to $60. The top 8, they're going to be special. There's only going to be 8 of. Well, there'll be more than 8, I think, right, Felipe? Because there will be some complete. Well, the complete sets include the foils. I guess I need to clarify that. The complete sets may only be for the non-foil versions. I can't remember. Howard says, haha, I love that card. All 3 of us are going so that one of us can have a complete player set. Nice. John says, I'm too ancient for Discord. Can you please play by carrier pigeon? Yeah. I don't get in the Discord too often. We have a Columbus Discord for the local guys, and They message each other back and forth in there a lot, and every once in a while I pop in, but not a whole lot. The game master says we need more collectibles in this card game. You know, there's really not a lot of value in the LRG card game. The ultra rare foils are extremely collectible. Outside of that, it's just kind of the ultra rares themselves, $20 to $40 for a good one, I think. But that's their intention. They want to make it playable, everything affordable, and I think they've done that. But it does help to have some prize cards that are a little more expensive, make it worth you making the trip. They are power cards, Doug. They are not exclusive specials that affect gameplay. Right, did I misspeak and say specials? The foil power cards that go to the top 8, will they be included in the complete sets that players get if they attend, what was it, 5 or 6 of the 7 events? I think. I can't remember everything. I'd have to go look. Sawyer says, I have already posted that I want to buy extra promo cards. Yeah, good luck with that, Sawyer. I don't think there's going to be too many guys selling theirs. James says, I don't like event exclusive cards because the prize packs, you have to be in one of so few areas. I know locations are based on where they would do best and have the most players, but people far from them feel left out. Yep, I get that, but you know, there's really not anything that's real close. We're traveling 7 hours to be there. Then we're going all the way to Houston to be at one. Then there's Seattle, Brazil, Canada. So I think wherever you go, you're going to have to travel to any of them. There's a few that are close. Columbus will have a huge turnout because it's such a convenient place to get to, but the guys are still traveling a lot to get here. Howard says, I don't see the issue personally. We are a players' league. We should have cards that support our league. I am absolutely thrilled with how this is being rolled out. I like it too, Howard. I think it's great for the game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has done it in the past, although I believe they might have been really extremely large cards that weren't even playable, but they held a lot of value, and if you want it, you could sell it for $300 or $400 and pay for your trip. Felipe says, I agree. It's a big investment for all players to be present. It's super nice to get something nice in return just for showing up. Yeah, there's nobody out, unless you're local to that event. Everyone that's traveling in, they're traveling a good distance. So I think it's okay. James says, also so many promos on just almost 2 sets already. If we forget Witchblade. Yeah, that's true. There have been a lot of promos, but none of them are very expensive, right? What's the Invincible Power card go for? $15 maybe? The Witchblade from New York Comic Con, I think it might be $50. And Leonidas, I'd be surprised if it's more than $25 or $30. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at any of them lately. Hey Joe, how are you? I can't go to most. I think it's great to have alt art power cards. Yep. Yeah, I get it, Howard. I'm just agreeing with you. Just to keep the chat flowing. James says, that's so much traveling just to complete a set. Yeah. For the completist out there, it does make it very hard. I've never been a completist. I have never owned a complete set of any of the Overpower sets. Never tried. I probably came pretty close to iCube just because I opened so many boxes. But whenever anybody needed something rare, I was more than willing to, if I opened up a pack and hit one, I'd trade it off right then and there because I never tried to put a complete set together. So if you are a completist, sorry, it is going to be tough for you. but if you just want to play the game, these cards really mean nothing to gameplay. You don't have to have them. They don't change gameplay. It just blings out your deck a little bit. Felipe says, also, I might be biased, but some of the rarest cards will now feature a certain redhead. Oh, yeah. Oh, Felipe, I'm definitely biased. I love redheads. Don't tell my wife that. She's not a redhead. I'm referring to my red hair. I love when something special comes up like that. And there are some rare cards that when I get, I want to keep, and then others I just don't care about. I do still have the Witchblade and the Leonidas from New York Comic Con, but I didn't know that I still had a copy of each. I was just going through the boxes the other day and found a set in there. So, you know, to each his own. If you're disappointed because you can't be there and you're going to have to shell out some money to try and buy the foil version, sorry. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone's going to sell them, right? Hey, Jay, how are you, buddy? I started to call you up and ask you want to be on here tonight, but I got busy and I forgot to message you. I'm sorry. Let's see. James says, I understand it, but just sucks for a completionist. Yep, which is hard with modern cards. I just got to adapt. Yeah, it's good. I hope Jesse comes around to that point of view too, and he's not so caught up in being a completist. I've always been more of a collector than a player. Definitely trying to get into playing now. Yeah, James, I hope you start playing more. It's a fun game for sure. John says, so long as tournament promos aren't functionally unique, giving promos is fantastic. It builds excitement, and if people who just want to play the game can sell them to pay their travel costs, yes, 100% agree. Yep, John, and so does Howard. I think it's great. I think it's something that we've been lacking. When you make it so that everybody can have it, it's not special anymore. No, non-foil versions are not available without showing. You have to be there to get one. And the top 8 will get a foil version. So there's no way to get it except being here. I hope Felipe printed enough for Columbus, because I think there's going to be a ton of players here for Columbus. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple guys came to Columbus, played the first round, and dropped just to get that card. Felipe says, some people sold their Mina play mats. I'm sure some players will look for the big bucks those foil cards will generate. Slight difference. The Mina was 32, and these power cards are of 8. Would I sell mine this weekend if I win one? You know what, Felipe? I don't think I will sell one if I make top 8. I don't think I'll sell mine. Mostly because of our friendship and having your character on a card like that. I think it would mean more to me personally than the dollar value. Now, if somebody starts offering ridiculous amounts of money, I might be able to settle for a non-version one. We shall see. And James says, or can we do a fun side online tourney during NAOL events that maybe we could get the non-foils? James, nope. I'm pretty sure the answer to that's going to be no, because they just didn't make that many. Sawyer says, I think right now it is better to focus on creating high-value cards without breaking the game, rather than focusing on completions. I think making over $1,000 cards is how we get even with Pokemon. What stat is the Columbus card? I don't know, James. Felipe has not shared anything with me about that. All I have seen, like everybody else, is the 8 energy for this weekend. I'm not crying, you're crying. Felipe, I love you, man. I can't wait to see you. The Traveling Goof, how are you, buddy? The Game Master says, got to spread the love to those that can't attend too. Duck Taylor says, Felipe, I heard that as Duck saying your friendship is only worth so much. Go on, Duck Taylor. Ease off a little bit there. It would take a ridiculous amount of money to make me consider selling that. And if one of them is an 8 fighting with the red head on it, I may have to rearrange my whole schedule. I hope. All right, Felipe, I'm going to make a request. Can the red head be on the 8 fighting for Columbus so that I don't have to rearrange my whole schedule to get one? Doug, you're hilarious. That is not what I meant. James says, I think the community's too small to have over $1,000 card unless we go one of one. What are the accidentally inserts worth these days? Accidental inserts are extremely valuable, and there will be fewer of these promo cards than of the accidental inserts. HA says, so you get top 8. So do you get a non-foil and a foil? That is correct. You get a non-foil AJ just for showing up and playing, and you get a foil version of the card if you make the top 8. Goof says, so 4 of these promo cards will be power card 8s. I wonder what the remaining number will be. I'm assuming they're going to be 8s. I don't know what Felipe has in mind. There are, 7 NAOL events? Oh, but Howard says these are for NAOL events. What I can tell you is we have printed a very limited amount, and no more will be printed. Howard, I hope you printed a lot for Columbus. That's all I'm saying, because we're going to blow this game up in Columbus in June, especially with these promos. And of course, Felipe will be back, right? Felipe, you guys are all coming up for that regional. John says, if I get any, I'm keeping them unless they get to Magic the Gathering Black Lotus pricing. I'd have to think about it if I could trade it for a vacation home. Yeah, I hear you, John. Ravens Project says, I second that motion. Sawyer, yeah, James, I think breaking 1K for one card is the eventual goal. Wow, $1,000. That's a lot. Redhead 8 fighting for Columbus. I like that's the one I'm going to, says James. Yeah. Felipe says, I could say, though, that all cards look awesome and they each feature a different character. Hey, Tart Clown, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Felipe says the 8 energy is actually Phantom Express, and that will be a playable character in the upcoming dual decks. Felipe, speaking of the dual decks, you got any announcement you want to make for that? Yep. Oh, you will be in Columbus. I hope all the Brazilians come up for that. Let's see. John says we can have a ceremonial burn for any which aren't given away. Yeah, destroy them. Yep, for sure. Sawyer says we should absolutely get level 1 power cards. We only include 1 in our deck most times. Sawyer, I like the way you think, but I don't want a level 1 power card. Oh, that's hilarious. Goof says, I'm hoping Seattle's card is green. The Emerald City and the home of Cthulhu players should be brute force. Game Master says, spoilers. There's no spoilers here. Nobody knows but Felipe and Howard, and they're not talking. Are you saying 8 fighting redhead won't be a playable character? That's not what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. Any of these cards, any of these promos are playable. They are good at any NAOL event. They are good at any LRG event. You can play them in your decks for sure. I don't know that the redhead will have an 8 fighting, but I was saying I would hope the 8 fighting power card for her will be the one they give out in Columbus. We'll see. John says, I personally want a 5 multi because I'll play it on every deck. A 5 multi would be cool. Felipe says, there will be another artwork revealed this week. All right, I can't wait to see it. James says, Sawyer, I'd rather a 1K player base before a 1K card. I don't know. Howard said, will Felipe's autograph add value to these cards? That's a great question. I'm sure to some people it certainly will. So, Felipe, red is not a combat. I can share that. Okay. Well, guys, we're getting some spoiler, not spoilers here. The red is not going to be on the 8 combat. All right. Well, we shall see. Right now, I'm looking at 4 different decks to play this weekend. I got to narrow it down tomorrow. I've got to narrow it down to 2 tomorrow, and I'll be down to 1 by Thursday. It's going to be tough. There's so many combinations that I'm looking at. Felipe says, I think Fabiano's autograph will be more valuable. I'm a lot easier to find. Yes, you are, my friend. James says, Red's promo was a 7 combat. Yep, in the Kickstarters did get the 7 combat power card. Does everybody else that's coming, you guys already got your decks? Am I the only one who doesn't? Jessica doesn't, only because she's probably not coming. As things change and she gets to come, she'll probably have something. Felipe says, tell us the decks when we can help. Oh, yeah. Let me think about that. Nora, I believe, has got his down. Corey, he was down to 2 decks, but he was really leaning heavy to 1, so I think he's ready. Goof says, Doug, my video is rendering now in case you want historical data to compare to pick your decks. Goof, I can't wait to see it. I love the chart that you put out. I was a bit confused when you said that it did not include Boston. Why didn't the Boston decks get released? John, you're here in the chat. Can you help us out there? Why weren't the Boston decks released afterwards? It was good to see the Age of Apocalypse was a well-represented battle site. Unfortunately, what did it have? 4 top 8s on there. 2 of those were mine. I think 1 was Phil Keffer, and I'm not sure who the other was. And then I had another one in Boston. So it would have been at 5. So I'm kind of curious about who else played AOA and made a top 8 with it. Was that Derek? I think Derek did. Did Derek play it somewhere? Somebody help me out. Howard, do you remember? Did Derek play AOA in one of the NAOL events last year? Sawyer says, do you like mixing modern characters with legacy during the now? I'm okay with that option. I don't even remember what all I played last year. I know in 2 of my the event that I won in Oklahoma, I just played the Beyonder, White Queen, X Babies, and 3-stat Magneto, so I had no modern characters on there. There you go, Dark Clown. It'll be Neron or Beyonder. I played Neron in Florida and made the top 8 down there, but AOA was the battle site there. I don't think I didn't have any of the new characters on that deck. It was the Blue Beetle, Invisible Woman. Oh, maybe I did. Did I have, might have had King Arthur in reserve. Honestly, I can't remember. I way prefer playing the legacy characters over the classics or over the new ones, but I am looking at adding a One of the decks has 2 modern characters, 2 classic characters on it. But the other deck that I'm thinking, I think it still has 1 of the new characters on it, and then the other 2 have no modern characters on them. So I'm kind of like up in the air. I kind of looking forward to it. I'll narrow it down. And Andrew, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not going to be Neron this time. And 90% chance it won't be Beyonder. I won the event last year with Beyonder and then didn't play it again. I don't plan on playing him this year. And mostly because they still kind of nuked the JW, so I'm not sure that deck is quite as strong as it used to be. Can I win another event with it? Probably. It's still a really strong deck, but I'm looking at other avenues right now. Howard says there is a playmat available for anyone playing all modern characters and making the top 8. And you got a question mark after that, Howard. Is that a statement or a question? I'm not sure. Better idea, I could just find locals there to play and the things. Hopefully they get hooked and I get a card. Yep. You got to come to Columbus, James, and play this time. You were here for the Nats, but now you got to come and play. Hey, Lawrence, how are you? The other was, oh, okay, it was you that played AOA. I love it. That's awesome. Felipe, you played AOA in Orlando. Now, wait a minute. That's not adding up. Hey, Goof, your numbers may not be right. Unless, Lawrence, was you also in Boston with that? I don't remember. I don't think so. So, Lawrence, Felipe, myself twice. Didn't Phil Keffer make top 8 with it in Florida too? I think he took it all the way to the final game. Howard's asking, Doug, are you planning to stream or record on Saturday? I have not been asked to do that. So as of right now, no plans. And Howard said Derek hates AOA. Traveling Goof says, you played Neron. Yep, I did play Neron in Florida with AOA. Felipe says AOA is awesome. I love it. Lawrence says, as Felipe, how can we both be the other? Which of us is power mimicking the other? John says, Boston, it's my fault. I owe Howard data, but I'm laid up until April, and I've been having trouble getting the info from someone who's in the office. I promise it sometime soon. Blame me. Not blaming anybody, John. It's all right, buddy. It happens. I hope you're getting better as we speak. Felipe says, Lawrence, you too? Then there are more AOA top 8s then. Yeah, no rush. There's plenty of other decks out there to get some info on. You rest up. Right. Don't worry about it, John. And James says, is there an NAOL champ? Technically, it'd be Player of the Year, which is what Phil Keffer won last year. Lawrence says, yes, Felipe, at the Columbus OP Cup. You know what? I ran that event. I didn't play in it. So if Lawrence, you snuck in there with the AOA, I missed that, buddy. I'm sorry. And Felipe wants to know who's the real Morph. Doug Taylor says a fun format would be you have to have one modern character, but it can't be your lowest threat character. Howard says that was a question. It was supposed to be an exclamation. You know what? It does seem like there is something special for someone if they made the top 8 with an all-modern team, but I can't remember. Felipe said Phil did as well. Yep, he power mimicked that stupid Cthulhu card. I know, that's why I remember it so clearly too, Felipe. That was amazing. So, yeah. those AOA stats are a little off. Dark Clown Keffer, Power Mimic the Call of Cthulhu was wild. 10 hit points for all your dudes. Yeah, that was hilarious when he said he pulled that off. Felipe says he immediately knocked out 2 of my characters, which were locked out with that play. Oh, that's awesome. Doug, can we chat later about possible recording the games on Saturday? Sure, Howard. If you want to put that in our NAOL chat and include Robin, we can do that. Hey, Keith, how are you? Keith B offered something like $150 if anyone made top 8 with all modern characters. All right, let me think about that real quick. I don't think they can do it. You could pump that number up to $500, and I think it'd still be pretty safe to say nobody's going to win it. Felipe says it was not hilarious. Be glad. Sorry, Felipe. I wish it had been anybody but you, my friend. But it was so good to see because, you know me, I'm preaching the Power Mimic all the time. And Keith says, I doubt that offer still stands. Keith, I don't know. I don't know, my friend. I bet it still stands because it's going to be so hard to do. Do you think the Woot Witch has a chance in the modern format? I think there's so many negates in the modern format that it would be hard for that modern deck to compete. I don't know. The GOAT's not in the chat. I haven't seen Phil yet, Phil Keffer, to get their opinions, but I don't think it will. I think it'd be really hard. What do you think, Andrew? Doug Taylor? Could you do it? Sawyer says Power Mimic might be awesome with EFL. The Goof says, I see 13 people playing AOA as their battle site. 4 made top 8. 2 made top 3. 1 win. Well, 4 made top 8. 2 of those were me. 1 was Phil Keffer, Felipe, and Lawrence. Didn't they all make top 8? 2 made top 3. 2 of them was me. No, sorry. 1 of them was me, and 1 of them was Phil. So that part is correct. But I think we're missing, and then if you include Boston in there, you're going to get 1 more from me. But I think we're short on something. And Howard says, no offer from Keith. We have a playmat to give out, and that's it. And the Goose says, I caught a few errors and had to retract some events, which delayed me sending out the video. Felipe says, yeah, Power Mimic, EFL. Dark Clown says, only Joe Peters could top 8 with modern only. Andrew, I would agree. Only Joe Peters would try it. I think also only Joe Peters would try it. He could probably do it. And I wouldn't put it past him. Gift says Western, no top 8s. Western. The 3 that I was at Boston. Where was I? Boston and the shootout. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember where I played. Peace Bridge, 1 top 8 was Garion. He played AOA. Okay. The Western shootout. Goof, I won the Western shootout with it. James says, I play 3 games Cincinnati. Andrew the champ, Valentine the mind, and Raz the other one. So I have a perfect 0-3 record. I need to lose to you, Felipe, Jessica Nor to win Columbus. OP Cup had 1 top 8. That was Lawrence. Okay. The Western shootout. I don't think I played the Outback there, did I? Hey, Goof, what's it say what I played at the Western Shootout? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I played AOA. I don't think I played the Outback. Joe Peters could do it and do so with the Invisible Man and Time Traveler. You know, I would agree. Joe Peters can do anything. Whoops, I was looking at my AC data when I wrote Western. Okay. Yeah, you had me doubting myself there for a minute, Goof. So, Western, I won it there. Peace Bridge, Garion made top 8. And Lawrence and Columbus, Felipe, and Phil Keffer in Florida. So right there's 5 top 8s. And Felipe says, I want to see Joe try that. Let's pull some money to see it happen. Yep, that's what I thought. Your AOA with Beyonder, White Queen, Babies, Magneto. Yep, that's what I thought. Negating events against Legacy is a baller move. Those decks ultimately rely on their events heavily. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. The classic game is so dominated by events. You can win a game in 2 or 3 hands easily just based on drawing your events at the right time. And I'll be curious to see what kind of decks show up this weekend. How many of them have classic players. Sawyer says, I was thinking Time Traveler would be great to bring to Legacy. The problem with Time Traveler in Legacy is you have to get his card before the big event comes up. And if his card comes up after a big event, then it's worthless. But some people may be trying it. Joe says, I did play all ERB at Peace Bridge. I did not make top 8. What did you play, Joe? I wasn't up there, so I'm just curious. Felipe says, battle sites or any characters, though. What do you all think? I think it depends on the deck and what you're trying to accomplish. Any characters are going to keep you from dupes, but the battle sites are so defensive. It allows you to be a little more creative on the characters that you use. But if you use a lot of 9 or less avoids and a negate character, then the anti-characters are probably the way to go because of the duplication. Howard says, you tried, Joe. Full marks, my friend. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about the anti-characters. I think there's going to be 50-50. Let's see. Joe Peter says he played Joan, Mina, Cthulhu, Watson with Baker Street and Citadel. Oh, you was really trying to KO Joan, weren't you? Andrew says battle sites are way better in my opinion. Only downside is dupe protection. Being able to pivot is worth the dupes. My deck struggled over the weekend. I was drawing a lot of dupes with the battle site, and I tried to take a couple cards out of the battle site, and I didn't like it. I think you can, I agree with Andrew, you can make up for the dupes on the activators, but it can be hard if your opponent's not discarding anything over there, and you are. It can be really tough, especially if you're going up against battle sites, and of course they play the event. No activators maybe played this battle. You just gotta hope when that event comes up, they can't venture for the win. And if they can't, then you'll be okay. But boy, if they can, you're in for a battle. Felipe says, most battle sites have about 5 defenses. Any characters have 4 if you count the shift. James says, I know you're stuck in an NDA, Doug, but I'm not. LOL. I remember asking about the new any character selection. I know nothing about those any characters, James. We did not play test those. I don't know who did. It may have just been the core guys up in Boston that did that. I'm not sure. And Felipe says, I've been really thinking about it. And Andrew says, I think Outback has more than 5. Probably. And the Goose says, well, I'm glad you mentioned it. I just re-looked and found 2 AOAs that I put in a C's instead. Gonna fix that and re-render. All right, Goof, thank you. John says, because I can only play any heroes in Modern, I would only play battle sites in Legacy. I've always preferred them anyway. Yeah, I've preferred the battle sites. I just think when you get an activator, they can go get an attack or a defensive card, whatever you happen to need that hand. It makes for a world of difference. It gives you so much more balance. James says, idea seems to be Skybound comes with a new set of innies, but there's like another site you have to show which set you're using. Yeah, that's what Joe told us at the Nats. So that is coming straight from Joe. That would be correct. John says, I was in the play test and the new any heroes were not provided to us for testing. Yeah, I think it was internal testing only. Yes, John, I think that's right. I think the Costas, Dave, Keith, Joe probably did it all themselves. Andrew says, most defensive suite of any heroes is auto pick with Invincible. I predict we see 80% new stuff and 20% Reaper lovers at most. Hey, Merlin, how are you, buddy? James says, so my question is, what do you think they can use to match the 7 stat attacks and such like? What do you think the new innies will look like? From what Joe was saying, the new innie characters are going to be almost all defensive cards. But we shall see. I don't want to put too much thought into it because I just literally have nothing to base it on. Goof, when you get that updated, buddy, let us know. I'd like to see the chart again and compare everything. I like to see the AOA doing so well. It's the only battle site I think I played in events in forever. Although I might have played the Outback a little bit with my teamwork deck. I can't even remember now. Andrew says, avoid one attack of 8 or less because Zeus needs more love. Yeah. Man. I don't know. Zeus, it's a great concept, but he's so hard to play. I don't know that an 8 or less would give him a little bit more love, right? That would be good. We'll see what they say. James says, do you think internal testing is better for things like that since so much of the play testers are also players in the community, or do you think they should have opened it up more to get a better idea? I think in this instance, it's okay because it's just the any characters. And that way, if it doesn't work, they can take all the blame. And if it does work, they can take all the credit. Soria says, I don't like that battle sites make it so that my opponent is potentially drawing 14 cards but can only play 8. I was young in my overpower age, but it was overwhelming to face. I don't understand what you mean by potentially drawing 14 cards. Felipe says people should look into the vault, bring Vertigo back. Dark Clown says if we see less Reaper, we see more Zeus. That's his Achilles heel. It is tough for sure. Felipe, I don't know that you want Vertigo back, buddy. That was nasty. It's just like if you wanted to win the event, you had to be playing Vertigo. There was just no way around it. Merlin says, Zeus is hard now, but with more inexpensive characters on the way, he'll see more play. He's also good in Legacy as a battle site killer. Felipe says, Redhead will teach the Reaper a lesson or two. John says, I love Outback for defense, and the offense is fine. Stupid Citadel tricks are also fun. Yes. There's so much you can do out of the Citadel. And I'm sure just like everybody else, the first time it was played against me, it's like, you're doing what? So, yeah, the Citadel is amazing. The only reason I play AOA is that I love Power Mimic. And it's kind of like the Citadel Light. It does have the tuck. But I enjoy playing AOA way more than I enjoy playing the Citadel. Although, that might change. I was asking around the guys to get back all of my activators, Dark Beast, Onslaught, Holocaust, and Post, so that I could build the Citadel. Joe says, I've seen enough Vertigo with the Witch. Yes. Dark Clown agrees with you, as do I. Doug says, Vertigo with Witch and Wukong. Shifty. Yeah, we don't need any more of that. Can you imagine Vertigo with the Witch? Says Felipe. It would be quite nasty. And she would work quite well with the Marauders who have the Vertigo. So, no, we don't need any more of that. Vertigo under original wording is the only deck you would ever use, says John. Yep. Merlin says, Felipe, I am eagerly awaiting my Redhead playmat. Yeah. Felipe, is there anything I can do to help you with those playmats? I know you had them printed by my guy right here in Columbus, so let me know. I'd go pick them up for you if you want. The Goose says, thanks for the recent Kickstarter update, Felipe. James says, have any battle sites been boosted by any modern? Nope, there's no way to do that. And Felipe says, sure thing, bud. Yeah, there's battle sites can only get better if the character on the battle site gets a special, and since they don't have a Marvel license, that won't happen. Or an Image license, so the Image battle sites won't get any better either. Not that there ever were good Image battle sites. Playmats are done and delivered. Everything else is taking longer than anticipated. I love to hear that, Felipe. My guy came through and he got you the playmats. Can I say something? American made, brother. You guys got to get away from doing everything overseas. It's just the way it's going to be. Get it made here in the States, and you'll get everything fulfilled so much faster. I can guarantee it. Changed it. Image battle sites were better than DC's. Did DC even have locations? I don't think they even had locations. And nobody ever used anything for Image. So, neither one, Image or DC, I don't know. You would take one over the other, even if DC had locations. I remember somebody made a proxy for the Justice League, and they made it tournament legal. Space Ghost, remember Space Ghost, guys? All you old timers. And he put all the Justice League characters on it. And he made it legal for one event, and still nobody played it. America. Oh. Yeah, Felipe, America, baby. There are so many things we could say right there. come to Columbus and get everything made right here in Columbus. Ohio really is the heart of it all. John says, DC had no sites and image sites were unplayable. Are unplayable, says John. Yep. And Goof says, image and DC are not seen much. You got that right. Your guys certainly delivered. I'm so anxious to see them myself in hand. Oh, Felipe. Yeah, you going to post a picture of them when you get them? That'd be awesome. I should add Ken. Just bring me over mine. Just drop it off at the store. The Goose says, I played an image site against Adam, and he couldn't remember what any of the characters did. So I had the element of surprise, if nothing else. But did you win? Oh, man. James says, I've gotten card made for sock puppets. Oh, man. That's funny. Felipe, I did see your update to the Kickstarter, but honestly, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Everything going okay, though, other than a few people lagging behind? Can't wait to see everything. Got a couple big ones coming up, right? This one and then the one after? No, I did not, says Goof. You still lost even with the element of surprise? Oh, man. I love the way the battle sites bring another level of complexity to the game. And that's what I don't like about the any characters. The any characters just... it's just not as complex. I know how some guys still like to use the any characters, and they do quite well with them, but not for me. Although, I can't give up my power mimic. And even if I did give up power mimic, I would still go to the Citadel, I think, before I would go to any characters. But I go to the Outback before any characters. That's a good question. I'm not sure about that one. Any characters might be number 4, my 4th option. John says, unfortunately, Image only has about 6 playable characters, and probably 2 of those are debatable. Maybe more than 2 are debatable. Felipe says, yeah, everything is in production and looking great. The Few and the Curse number 11 is fulfilling this week already. The card one coming up next month. Can't wait to see that one. That's going to be awesome. The Goof says, it was the first run around. I had too many making additional attack cards, but only activators in hand, so couldn't make those attacks. That does make it hard. James says, I do want to give LRG credit for kind of simplifying battle size, but makes innies have to be a set. Felipe says, all right, fellas, got to run, but always fun hanging out with y'all. Thanks for tuning in tonight, Felipe. It was great having you on. We will see you soon, and we're going to make an announcement about when you coming back on the stream here soon, right? We'll probably do that after Robin's event this weekend. We don't want to take away anything from this weekend. James says, that's a huge boost for novice, and say they stick around for a while. 20 sets in, you can catch people off guard. Yeah, I understand the reasoning that they kind of got away from battle sites. It is complex, and the game is already hard to teach to someone. And the battle sites certainly don't make it any easier. See you this weekend, Felipe. Be safe, buddy. John says, thanks for streaming. I'll check the end of the podcast after dinner. All the best. Hey, thanks, John. Thanks for tuning in. We're not going to stay on too much longer. I'm almost done. I'm going to go home and get some dinner myself. But battle sites are rough for new players, says the Goof. It is. They are extremely hard to teach to players. And then it's extremely hard to get them the cards. They got to proxy so much. They got to print everything. I know in our Columbus Discord, it was blowing up where guys were saying, I think I'm going to look into the classic game. I got to build some battle sites, and it's like, man, you guys are going down a deep dark hole. You don't have a clue what's going on with that. But one of the guys says, well, I work at a printer. I'll print you out whatever you need. So he can kind of make the cards available to everybody. But learning the complexity of a battle site, when to play that card as a defense, when to hold it for offense, when to lead with an offensive attack when you could have saved it for later in the hand for a defensive play. There's a lot to it. And Raven Project says, amen, Goof. Core reason I haven't dipped into Legacy. Yep. As a player, at least. Yeah, you did help run some OP Cup. Goof says, any characters are just so much easier. I like that move too, James. Using any character sets will mimic the idea of the battle sites variety without the required homework. Yeah. But when you draw an activator that could be one of maybe up to 3 different cards in your battle site, where any character is what it is, it's not going to change. So it takes away that portion of the card where you have to think about how do you want to play it. James says, I want to learn more modern, then dive into Legacy. That's probably the best way to start. I mean, when I taught Jessica and Nor how to play, we just started with any characters in the Legacy format. Hey, Jalen, how are you? But then slowly brought them along and then introduced the battle sites. And the battle sites hooked Jessica. Nor, for the longest time, still preferred any heroes. But he eventually came around to using battle sites. Goose says, but I guess you only need to learn AOA, Hell's Kitchen, Onslaught, Citadel, and the Outback. I guess there's fewer things to have to learn. No one plays anything else. No, that's a very general term. I saw a few, somebody did, was it X-World? I saw that one on there. They did, I think, was that Ricky? And I think he did pretty well with it. I saw a couple on there, but you're right. Basically, those are the ones you need. Maybe Helicarrier. The Shield Helicarrier is one that might see more play. The only problem with it is that it doesn't have a negate in there. And the same Wendigar Mountain made a few appearances. That one does have a negate, I believe, right? So there are a handful, but the biggest ones are the Citadel, AOA, and the Outback. And Doug says there are a few others that pop up occasionally. Yeah, but not as consistent. You're right. James says, do any of you Columbus people play online or want to split the 3-hour drive on the weekends? Most of us work Saturdays, so we don't do much of the driving thing. And I don't think any of us are playing online, although some of them may be popping up in the Discord and playing there. James, I could maybe get you added into that Discord. Didn't someone do a shift to NAOL meets with Beyonder Galactus last year? Don't know about that one. Merlin says, I used X-World at Peacebridge last year and Columbus. Okay, so you're the one who was doing that. Helicarrier and Danger Room occasionally. Yep, I forgot. Danger Room's pretty defensive. Hey, good night, Howard. We'll see you Saturday. And Merlin says Danger Room is really solid. It is. Yusuf and Nor play online, says Andrew. There you go. James, get on the Discord. Yusuf and Nor playing there. And the Goof says, I had myself as the only ship player in NAOL last year. Ship? Yeah, that one's got Beast on it, right? So you do have the negate. I can't remember off the top of my head why more players don't play ship. I would have to check on that. I'd have to look at it a little closer. I don't remember. If Phil was here, he could tell me, but I can't remember. James says, I'd be forever thankful if you got me in that Discord. I'll do it. I'm not very good at Discord, James, but give me some time and we'll work on it tomorrow. Okay? I don't know how to add anybody. I'll just have to ask Nor. He'll help me out. Nor, if you're listening, can you get James in the Discord? Because it's a piece of shit. Oh, Merlin. Many battle sites don't have a negate. Yeah, which makes them harder to play. Avengers Mansion doesn't have Scarlet Witch on it. That could be a very good battle site if Scarlet Witch was on there, right? Goof says, I would love some experienced players to give a recap on why some home bases are ship and others are out back of this world. Oh, Goof, that's good. All right, maybe we'll do one. John says, I'm back. Dinner is delivery, and it's been delayed. Sorry to hear your dinner got delayed, John. Dark Clown says, Mur Island, no negate, I think, but strong. Yeah, that one saw some play for a little bit, and then it kind of dropped out of favor. I'm not sure what happened there. I think some guys were just trying to surprise people with what was in there. And most people didn't really know what could be coming out of Mur Island, so they didn't see things that were coming. Merlin says, I'm trying out sewer as a site. It's got some utility. The sewer's strong. And Joe Peter says, I use Mur often. Yeah, it just, the battle site depends on what you're trying to accomplish for sure, right? But Mur, at one point, I can't remember who showed up with it first. I think either Phil or Marcel. Was it Marcel? They both might have, they probably tried it on each other. They both might have showed up at the same tournament with it, to be honest with you. But there for a while, it got some play. James, sewer's one I hear often. Doug says, I've used Mur too. No, I'm just like, I don't ever try and build anything different. Corey does, but I don't. Citadel, Outback, AOA, Mur Island, Sewer, Windagar are all sites I'd consider, says John. I think I always try to get more defensive battle sites so that I don't have to play defensive characters. I don't know if that's a wise move or not. James asking it. There's no mill in original overpower, is there? There is not, my friend. There's some guys that'll make you discard a little bit. Super Scroll, Iron Man, I think can make you discard cards, but not too much. Merlin said Krakoa is a hidden gem of a battle site. Joe says, I did play Avengers Mansion to top 4 of Champ of Champs. Nice. Okay. Henry Pym did it for you, right? Because that's what makes Avengers Mansion so good. Henry's on there. John says, some others like Hell's Kitchen and Assumption. Yeah, in the modern game, Assumption is hard to beat. Goose says, there are a couple mill cards. Chris Rice actually looks to have tried one out in Western Shootout last year. I think only those 2 characters have mills, but I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've looked at some of those characters that are there. I need to get out my classic cards and get them all sorted down and start looking again. All right, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Oh, wow. Appreciate y'all coming. Oh, Steve, nice hearing talk about those battle sites. Thank you. You're so welcome. We'll talk more about battle sites. I'll do an episode on them here in a couple weeks. Next week will probably be all about how great Robin's event was over the weekend. So, but maybe the week after we can do something on battle sites. So thanks for tuning in, you all. I appreciate you all. And hit a like and subscribe on the way out if you would. That would be great. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all Saturday or Monday. Have a good week.